Hi there, everybody. Welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts on this Wednesday. Meteorologist Stephanie Barrichello, joined by meteorologist Holly Baker. Cloudy today in the Milwaukee area. Cooler today, 60s right now.
But it doesn't feel bad outdoors. I mean, when you compare it to the heat we've had over the past weekend, I'm like, you know what? I can kind of appreciate it feeling a little bit cooler this morning.
Yeah, even though it's a little sticky, it's refreshing here and a big change. But there are still a lot of spots out east dealing with the extreme heat that we in the Midwest and the Upper Plains dealt with the last couple of days. Over on the East Coast, I mean, we're talking New York, we're talking Philadelphia, places like that. Triple-digit heat and oppressive humidity, it's coming down on the region. More than 150 million people dealing with heat warnings or heat headlines of some kind. New York's JFK Airport hit 100 degrees for the first time since 2013 yesterday, so Tuesday. Baltimore, Philly, Boston also joined the 100-degree club yesterday. Thousands of people in the New York area also dealing with power outages because of this high heat. And parts of New York City have started opening cooling centers because of this. Fox Weather associate producer Zachary Orlowski spotted this one in Brooklyn yesterday. So precautions that need to be taken with all of this record-setting heat and especially the triple-digit heat and humidity. Again, there's some video of some of the cooling centers that you can see. We had cooling centers open here locally as well the last couple of days because we had 3 straight days in the 90s with triple-digit feel-like temperatures. So unfortunately, some of these really highly populated areas dealing with some of that heat that we have seen and know all too well of here locally. I
know. I'm wondering if they had any of these cooling stations at Summerfest because that was when it was hot over this weekend. A little bit better, though, I feel like this week we get a little bit of a relief, but not too much. But with, I guess, those temperatures really heating up, that also causes a lot of disturbances within our atmosphere. So as we check out this tornado warned storm here just outside of Denver Metro yesterday afternoon, look at that. Look at those clouds, first of all. I mean, we're cloudy here, but we don't look anything like that. You can see the tornado there and the wind and rain just north of Bennett, Colorado. Yeah, that's crazy. You can even see it with the water. It's just moving. That's insane.
Yeah, incredible wind with that tornado warned storm.
But as we switch gears too, let's look at Miami. Miami has a beautiful sunrise. This was by Brandy Campbell, and this was this morning. Oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful. I'm so jealous. My brother lives in Miami, so this is what he was looking at this morning. Yeah, that looks so beautiful. And I can almost feel the warmth.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a hot morning there. You need to start telling him now. This is the standard.
Right.
You need him to send you sunrise pictures.
Yeah, I need it. And I'll post them every morning just so I can at least fantasize if, you know, that I will one day get that.
Yeah. Oh, hope he's staying cool. If you do need something to cool you down, let's talk about this next story. This is incredible, and yes, right off the bat, this is snow that you're looking at right here, but probably not what you're thinking. You are looking at snow falling in Buenos Aires, Argentina on Monday. So just a couple of days ago, this happened for the first time in nearly 20 years. So snowfall occasionally occurs in the surrounding areas of the city, the mountainous areas, of course, with some of those higher elevations. It's only snowed in the city 3 times since 1918. So just incredible. Remember, Southern Hemisphere experiences winter while we experience summer. So they've got winter right now, but still, especially in an area like that, we're talking more mild winters. So it's very uncommon for even some spots in that season to see snow.
I know. It's just weird at this point. We're talking about hot temperatures, and then it's somewhere in this world it's snowing.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't even think about snow right now. Like, my mind is not even programmed. I mean, we had snow maybe, 3 months ago, our last snow before it started warming up. But hey, speaking of warming up, you guys, we're going to backtrack on all of those days where we had several 90-degree days. And Tom is definitely going to give us a little bit more of a better look into that.
Well, we had a hot stretch of weather last weekend. Let's talk about how unusual or usual is it to see 90-degree temperatures in the month of June in the Milwaukee area? Well, we have had 4 days of 90-degree or higher temperatures in the month of June officially in Milwaukee so far. That compares to 6 days of 90 or above in 2024, 1 day of 90 or above in June of 2023. Now, our 40-year average, if we go back to the mid-80s, our 40-year average is 3 days in the month of June with 90-degree or higher temperatures. You might remember when we hit that record of 12 90-degree or higher days. Remember the summer of 1988? That was a huge, hot drought summer around here. So that was the most that we have had in recorded history in Milwaukee. But again, the average is 3, so we are above average for this month, for June of 2025, officially in Milwaukee. So bottom line is this. Is it unusual to see 90s in June? No, not at all. In fact, it is quite common to at least have a couple of days in the 90s. But a couple of issues with that can be like we had last weekend when it's day after day after day. The concern isn't just the high temperatures, right? It's also the lows. And we know that from last weekend where in Milwaukee it was struggling to get below 80 degrees at night. And that's what's called the urban heat island effect, when you have all of the concrete that helps to keep the heat in and keep temperatures warmer, let's say in the city versus outlying areas at night. So that's why we always stress during prolonged periods of heat, it's not just, the peak heating of the day that we're concerned about, it's also keeping cool at night as well. That's really very important. The other issue is this year probably seems a little bit chaotic, right? Because we went from the 60s straight to the 90s in just a matter of days. There wasn't like a gradual increase. It wasn't, 60s, 70s, 80s, and then we hit the 90s. Nope. We pretty much went from the 60s to the 90s in just a matter of days. So it was a sharp turnaround for us weather-wise. But again, just to recap, 4 days of 90-degree or higher temperatures so far in the month of June. And yeah, we're just beginning, right? So as you can imagine, July and August, we're going to feature some heat around here as well.
And we could even see a few more 90s this weekend, especially on Sunday. Saturday, we may fall short, but it just goes to show, as Tom mentioned, going into the heat wave, it was not gradual. We have 1 day cool down today, and then once again, no gradual climb. Right? We're just jumping right back in to some of that heat and humidity. And with that, let's dive into our regional weather. I do want to start with the heat. Again, it's not here locally anymore, but out towards the east, look at some of these temperatures. I mean, it's 99 degrees right now in New York City and all the way down the coast. Atlanta, you can see in the 90s. Charlotte, North Carolina in the 90s. So the heat is absolutely still out there right now, and forecasted highs for these areas actually look a little low on this map. Most spots are going to be in the upper 90s to maybe even triple digits. I know I checked in with my sister yesterday in South Carolina. Their high air temperature was in the 100s yesterday. She's in southwestern parts of that state, so the heat is on along the East Coast for just a little bit longer. Heat headlines continue. You can see the heat advisory for everybody in orange, the excessive heat warning for everybody in pink there. So once again, that is still set to continue for at least the next 24 hours. Now, forecast highs back closer to home, a little bit cooler, potentially even a below average day in Milwaukee, which sounds pretty crazy compared to the heat of the last couple of days, but we have lake influence today and cloud cover. So lakeshore communities will likely stay in the low 70s. Still some summer heat out there, absolutely, especially in far southern communities near the Wisconsin-Illinois state line and then down into the Chicago area. Those spots are still going to climb into the 80s today. That's because our stationary front has come back to a warm front. It's starting to sink southward for now, but it is going to continue to lift northward throughout the day tomorrow. So bringing the heat back. Just know that temperatures are going to continue to rise from here. It's really just a 1 day cool down. You'll notice how the Great Lakes region, for today and tomorrow stay a little bit cooler, but the rest of the week into the weekend, everybody, we're talking the upper plains, the central and southern plains, the heat is pretty much back and it looks to stick around even into early next week. So a wide we'll say range of temperatures here over the next 6, starting today with low and middle 70s. Those upper 70s will be for inland areas, but we will be cooler lakeside. Then we climb to 80s on Thursday, potentially middle 80s Friday into Saturday, 90s a possibility on Sunday, and still in those 80s as we start early next week. Plus, our dew points, they're a little lower today, still sticky, but they're basically back to those upper 60s, low 70s all the way through the weekend as well. So it's basically rinse and repeat, or copy and paste, as we like to say, compared to what we saw the past couple of days. When it comes to rain chances, we should see a little bit of dry time this afternoon in southern parts of the state, but up towards the north, you can see some steadier rainfall, some heavy rainfall across central and northern Wisconsin, over to the west across Minnesota. Most of that is lifting up towards the east-northeast, so we'll miss out on a lot of that, but we could still see a stray pop-up thunderstorm this afternoon, and then as that warm front starts to get closer later on tonight, we're talking after 10 p.m., it could bring in a weakening line of thunderstorms. So not done with the rain chances just yet. At this hour, as far as southern Wisconsin goes, or our viewing area here in Milwaukee, just a few light showers Fond du Lac to Dodge County, and a few sprinkles maybe into northern Waukesha County. That warm front is just off towards the west, and this is really the primary rainmaker across the U.S. right now. You can see those spots that are hot and humid, mostly dry at the moment, but we could still see a few more thunderstorms building as the day goes on, especially down towards the southeast. That's where there actually is a severe threat today. And then you'll notice where that warm front is located out west, there is a slight risk for severe weather also. Transitioning into tomorrow, we still have a marginal risk here locally, so we still need to watch for the slight chance of a pop-up strong to severe thunderstorm both today as well as tomorrow in our area. Also need to focus on the potential for some heavy rainfall. With the fact that these dew points are still going to be pretty high, those tropical rains will be a possibility. You can see actually a slight risk for some heavy rain across much of the upper plains and parts of Wisconsin. So from here, could see a stray pop-up thunderstorm this afternoon south. Steady rain, though, from here up north and across central Wisconsin. Here's that broken line of thunderstorms after about 10 p.m. We'll say Green Bay down to Madison, and then continuing throughout our overnight hours on into Thursday morning. Now, the rest of Thursday morning, most of the rain, as you can see, lifts north across northern Wisconsin before more development south later Thursday afternoon and evening. It does look like Thursday late afternoon we get a little stormy, and that's across pretty much the entire state. Right now we're in a marginal risk, but I would not be surprised if that was upgraded a little bit. So I do think the second half of Thursday we are going to need to watch for some strong thunderstorms across much of southern Wisconsin, if not even central Wisconsin as well. And then we still are a bit unsettled from there. Here's a look at rain chances or thunderstorm chances over the next 6 days. We have just the slight chance on Friday. Saturday looks dry, but then late Sunday into Monday, we'll have another system passing on through, so more thunderstorm activity will be a possibility. So this just looks to be the trend for the near future. More heat, more humidity, more chances for storms.
I know. I feel like every time we have a good day where it's like sunny and beautiful weather and warm, we have to pay for it
always
on the back end.
Yep.
And I feel like after that weekend, we're like paying for it this week.
Agreed.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Speaking of this last weekend too, we also were seeing that balloon. So let's give you an update about that balloon this morning. So you might have seen it flying over southeast Wisconsin over the past couple of days. Well, according to flight radar, the white balloon is now headed back home near Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And we now have a response from where the balloon is registered to. It's called Aerostar, which is an aerospace and defense company. The company tells us this is a Thunderhead balloon, which is used for communications, monitoring the environment and the scientific research. So NASA, Google, and the U.S. Air Force have all worked with them in the past. So it's nothing scary. It's just a balloon that's doing a little bit of research for our area.
There you go. And if we happen to see it again, now you guys know exactly what it is.
I remember there was a balloon in the Carolinas at one point a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we don't need to talk about that one. All right, let's take a live look outside right now. We have plenty more coming up on Wisconsin Weather Experts. We're really going to focus in on lightning safety because this is, believe it or not, Lightning Safety Awareness Week. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts. It is, a green screen for you.
We're not going there yet. We're going back to us here at the
zoom
desk.
back. So what I was going to say is that this is Lightning Safety Awareness Week. So we are going to take some time to talk a lot about lightning. And there have been some events, not too, I should say recently, that have caused injuries.
Yeah, and one of the first events we're going to look at is this past weekend in Florida. We have footage where in New Smyrna Beach, Florida, a 29-year-old Colorado man was struck by lightning while he was swimming in the water. A lifeguard ran over to help him, gave him CPR. He was then rushed to the hospital in critical condition. The storm was located 5 miles away from the beach, and at the time there was reports of sunshine, clear blue skies. The city also reported that the same day, 2 more people were struck by lightning while golfing at the Venetian Bay Golf Course. The fire department said both golfers were evaluated and neither required emergency transport to the hospital. But again, even though that storm's farther away, that is where we had lightning strikes, which can still travel 10 miles away from a storm. So not a great scenario there, but at least we are knowing that there's no fatalities and that people were able to be having kind of some sort of rescue for these people who were struck by lightning this past weekend there.
Yeah, and now moving to South Carolina, just yesterday, a similar event happened, causing nearly 20 people to need medical attention. Lexington, South Carolina, a group of 20 people were struck by lightning while swimming at Dominion Beach Park yesterday evening. One lightning bolt struck the group of 8 adults and 12 children. The fire department there said the bolt hit the water and energized a metal cable with buoys. Everybody got quite a jolt. At least 12 people were sent to local hospitals for treatment. While the extent of injuries was not given, all are expected to survive. And just a reminder, we just talked about it, but lightning can strike up to 10 miles away from storms. This is such an important reminder this time of year.
Yeah, it is. And this is the big thing, right? People are getting out, whether it's, again, other areas, heading to the beaches, heading to the lakes, even just being out in the park, and very easily can be caught off guard by a storm, which may seem far enough away where you won't have the impacts, but that lightning, I mean, traveling 5 to 10 miles, that's a significant distance. So really, that's why we say when thunder roars, get indoors and being weather aware. With it being Lightning Safety Awareness Week, we're going to talk a little bit about how lightning forms, the types of lightning, and the top fatalities that lightning typically causes and where they are. So now we're going to take you to the green screen where we will talk more about that. I guess we are going to talk about a package quickly about top fatalities first.
It's so hard to stay on track sometimes during this show. But yes, let's check in with Stephanie Buffamonte from our Fox station in Orlando with more lightning safety.
Evermore Orlando Resort is leading the way using a high-tech inclement weather system to make sure guests and golfers are safe when lightning is nearby. The luxury resort is 1,100 acres where people can relax in Evermore Bay or spend some time on the green at one of its 2 golf courses.
We have to not only make sure that we know when lightning is a threat, but that we get out in front of it in time for us to clear an 8-acre bay or 2 18-hole golf course.
It starts in the weather station. They will continuously get notifications about lightning strikes starting at 20 miles out, a second notification at 15 miles out, and at 6 miles away, they'll start making sure everyone gets to a safe space. Philip Morgan, the Director of Safety and Security Operations for Evermore Orlando Resort, explains.
What really sets us apart from other courses is the 3 phases of notification, which give us advance warning. But uniquely, we've actually integrated those notifications into our golf carts. So what we get as the operations team, the golfers get that on their video display whilst out on the course as well, so that they can pace their play and look at where the nearest shelters are based on the notifications they do receive.
Not only will there be notifications on the golf carts, but the system will trigger these alarms throughout the resort.
Once a weather station detects any sort of radar activity with lightning strikes or inclement weather, that system sends a notification to the sirens and the strobes.
Having systems like this in place are vital in the Sunshine State. That's because Florida is the lightning capital of the U.S. and ranks the highest for lightning fatalities in the country, with nearly 500 deaths since 1960.
Safety is paramount for every hotelier. Everybody that comes here needs to feel like we're looking out for them from a safety standpoint.
Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Buffamonte, Fox 35 News.
Well, the third time's the charm, you know. We're going to go to the green screen
Yes.
now. The best thing, though, again, is that they're coming up with these advanced systems to keep you safe, right, from when lightning can strike. We're going to talk about how lightning forms because it begins as electrons zigzag downward and known as a stepping ladder. That ladder then comes closer to the ground, and as it does, it draws a positive upward charge. Then we have that ladder and that positive charge come together, creating a powerful electric current flow. And that's what we see. It's the return stroke of those charges combining that are traveling at 60,000 miles a second. And keep in mind that this process itself repeats several times along the same path, causing that flicker of light. Now, from step one to the end, it's less than a second, believe it or not. So it is a very quick thing. There's many different forms of lightning. Cloud to ground is very common. We have intra-cloud lightning within the clouds is also very common. Cloud to sky is more occasional. Cloud to cloud is more uncommon. Then we also have an uncommon one, which is from the top of the clouds to the ground with a positive note. That is very uncommon. And typically when we see that type, it's about 10% of lightning as a whole, and usually has a stronger current and more impacts with it than ground to cloud lightning, which can occur, but it is on the rare side. So those are the types that occur, especially in terms of at least the types that we could have for lightning fatalities. Notice here as we zoom in, the ones in red. These are the most common, whether you're in a field, a yard, outside in the open, like if you're on a golf course, beach, under trees, or on the water. Now, of course, they can occur in other areas, but those are the most well-defined ones. So one of the last things we have quickly is a trivia question as we head to break. How hot can lightning get? Here are your options: 14,000 degrees, 25,000, 54,000, or 66,000. We'll give you that answer after the break. Welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts right here on Fox Local. And then we just covered a lot about lightning as it's Lightning Safety Awareness Week. And we gave you this question: how hot can lightning get? And if you maybe were guessing the answer C, 54,000 degrees Fahrenheit, that is correct.
Give yourself a round of applause.
You think about when the oven's 425 degrees, that's hot enough, but it is definitely very hot and very dangerous.
So there you go. We just talked all about lightning safety, and with more storms in the forecast, you know how to be safe. We'll see you again here tomorrow at noon. Have a great day.